Bonjour, il est temps de boire un espresso martini avec frangelico. So come on in, take a sip, and let's wind down this early afternoon Sunday with a frangelico martini espresso in. I always have a little dash of some apple cider vinegar before I have something super sweet. But man, is this good. So yes, let's do it. Let's have one more little shot of courage. And then let's hop into our grid. Let's see what we got today. So looks like we've got a title, Can I Have a Raise? Okay, nice. And this is a construction by Sid Sivakumar, edited by Joel Fagliano. And this is going to be a challenge, I bet. With Sid, I'm not quite 100% sure. I guess I could probably do a little bit of research prior, but, you know, I don't really want to know anything about the puzzle before I get into it. But I think he's like a doctoral student somewhere, but he has been in and around word plays and whatnot for some time. And so I'm kind of excited about seeing what we've got here today. I've seen his name in the grid before, and I can't remember necessarily what kind of grids we're talking about. But hey, let's jump in and see what we got. It's Sunday after all, so it is going to be wow. Yes, it is going to be a ginormous grid. Okay, that hits me every Sunday. It's just wow. Okay, so here we go. Simple sugar. Right off the bat, I'm thinking probably glucose. Speaking of the, the blood sugar spike I'm trying to avoid with a little bit of vinegar. Partner of go. Maybe grab and go? I really don't know. Racial injustice, initialism, perhaps Black Lives Matter. Dips. Oh, okay. Boozy holiday confection. Land inhabited by the Alutiiq people. I think they're in Alaska. I know I can probably put that much. Well, I can't put two A's there for Alaska. Oh, let's get this together. All right. Let's see what this helps us at all. So dips could be lulls. Member of the fam could be, I think it's probably cis, but it could be a sib. So eponym of a popular root beer brand, and I think that would be Bark. So then we've got sib. MSG imparts umami. Network with live streams on Paramount Plus. I guess that would be CBS. And all the tracker jokes that go. Sturdy hardwoods. Okay, so perhaps we're talking oaks here. And I guess this makes a boozy holiday confection maybe a rum ball. I don't think I've ever had one. Race from gate to gate. Well, outside of what you have to do at Istanbul International Airport, or for that matter, Atlanta International, I'm not quite sure just yet. So wheels for a car, say, could be slang. This isn't a typical Sunday, is it? We've got a little bit of challenge in this one. It's not just going to be a lay down and do what you will. No, this is going to make us earn every bite of this pie. Texas City at the foot of the Franklin Mountains. And as a matter of fact, we lived there for, going on 5 years. It was my last duty station in the Army, El Paso, Texas. And I can tell you, when we first moved there, we moved to the west side. We were literally right next to the western half of the Franklin Mountains. And then when we moved on into the officers' housing on base, on post, it was right there right there. We were on the east side, but looking at the Franklin Mountains, and it was really kind of nice. And the weather was gorgeous. And if you ever get a chance to go hang out in El Paso for a few days, the food, the weather, the people, très bien, muy bien. So then we got some Oso Buco coming through here today, and I guess slalom. Okay, makes sense. Shells and Mario Kart, no idea. I'm assuming this is ammo. Island northwest of the Big Island, and I guess that would be Maui. Okay, so I feel better about ammo. Word with the wave of a hand. Okay. Experience serenity. I don't know yet. Let's just go up here. Let's try to stay in some order today because oh, maybe this is the Alaska Peninsula. Okay. Let's see what we got. Drum used in son cubano music, and I think that's a bongo. In fact, I know that's a bongo, but I don't know why. I just feel like sometimes I just want to check myself. I guess when I'm not feeling 100%. Like sports stadiums susceptible to rain delays, and I think this would be open air. Delivery room injection, I mean epidural, maybe epi. Let borrow. Make it. Not spelled out. Perhaps this is unsaid. Yeah, nothing is really just feeling it. Great, right? Sized up. Well, AU, right? So maybe gauged. So maybe make it is to tag your it. So I guess let borrow maybe lent to. And attach in a way, maybe tie to, tie on. Kiln for hops, and I think that's oast. So I guess this is tie on. Trail mix morsel could be a nut. Oh man, I'm glad we had the N from on because God, that could be an ort, could be an oat. Oh, it could be anything, right? Protocol part. I think we're talking about steps here. And Zoe Kravitz to Marissa Tomei. And I guess this is a goddaughter. I didn't know that, but I'm going to commit that to memory because I'm a fan of the Kravitz family. Sees the point of, maybe guts. Device with a plunger. Eid al-Fitr celebration. I guess it would be a feast. Bringing out the end of Ramadan. Follower of Jah Rastaman. Yes, very cool. I guess a device with a plunger could be a French press, and that's pretty clever. Kind of hidden in there, wasn't it? Actress Christian of South Indian cinema. I feel like that's Trisha or something. Cultural climate. And this is what I do for a living, as a matter of fact. I'm an acculturator. Healthcare culture, safety, zero harm, high reliability, clinical operations. That's what I do. Go for a bite, perhaps eat out. Who has successfully juggled 15 balls simultaneously? I'm assuming that's no one. Like Thor shortly after arriving on Earth in 2011's Thor. I guess it was tased? Salted or smoked to be cured. One willing to take the hit, stoner. Very nice. Okay, well, I guess no one checks out. I guess I could fit this out here. Relatives of narwhals. And I suppose we're talking about the cetacean family, and I think maybe this would be belugas. The equivalent of Mrs. or Madame, and that's Senora. So very nice. Okay. Actress Christian, okay. Installations in a Hindu temple, and I'm assuming we're talking idols. I don't remember how to spell her name. Turning some heads. Performance with a sombrero, maybe a hat dance. And yeah, maybe this is Trisha. Ars Technica, okay. It might be on a lot, but not worth a lot. And I'm assuming we're talking about a used car. That's also a pretty clever clue. So, does some organizing, maybe sorts. Coaster in the cold, perhaps we're talking about a sled. So, turning some heads could be screwing. Nice. Okay, did laps, perhaps, maybe swam. Jemison in the International Space Hall of Fame. I guess that's Mae Jemison. So, all right. Psychological effect whereby memories are recalled more easily when they match one's current emotional state. And that will come to me. I think it's something it's congruency. Okay, let's strong encouragement, perhaps urging. Challenge for a tailor, maybe a rip. All right, so ¿por qué? Wild water craft, and I guess we're looking for a canoe. I don't really think of canoes as wild water crafts. I'm almost thinking maybe kayak or something. I don't know why that is, Currency used in Vatican City. Well, kind of a trick question, I guess. Yeah, this is, I think, congruence. I just can't remember what kind of congruence. We'll have to figure that out. So CBD oil. Physique could be a bod. Call from a dove, a coo. Maybe this would be an errand, an item on a to-do list. And let's see here. Blow a gasket, perhaps to rage against the dying of the light. Sites of conch piercings, and again, kind of trick questions, maybe thinking it's something different. Composter's concern, it could definitely be an odor. Firecracker, name that sounds like its first two letters reversed. I don't know yet. I mean, I don't really know just what that could be. What's seemingly impossible to find when storing leftovers? Okay. Idyllic spaces could be Edens. So maybe this is Ellie. This could be an old pal. Well, I don't know if it's going to be E-L-I-E, and I guess it's not, so maybe this is a Y. So a firecracker could be a dynamo. It also reminds me of how people talked in the 1930s and 40s. Wow, you're just a pocket full of firecrackers, aren't ya? And all the movies, James Cagney and all that. Oh, no, you didn't. Very nice. 1982 film that spawned a sci-fi franchise, and I'm assuming we're shooting for Tron there. I've never seen Tron. Never. I don't know what it was, just didn't appeal to me when I was a child. Tower in a port. A rig? I don't know. Moved across the aisle. So, is this seemingly impossible to find when storing leftovers? Probably a lid then, and that's pretty clever. I wouldn't have thought of it. I was trying to figure out what's a three-letter word for space, right? But I think this might be something political here, so maybe switched parties. I'm going to check that, because again, nothing in this puzzle really feels right every time, Tower in a port. Checks and balances include them, and I'm assuming we're talking about amounts. Like the flight from New York to Singapore among all actively operating passenger flights. I'm assuming they're going for the longest, which would make that a tug. Makes sense. And check it out. Psst, maybe. Vigor could be pep, which I think I'll always have. Natural sources of pink dye. I'm assuming these would be beets. Just look at any one of my white garments that's been stained by that mess. Breakdown could be to sob. Opine. Very nice. Okay. Let's start checking our switched here. I really want to get that right. Music genre, often played at a brisk 4/4 time. And you know what? You don't need to be a musician or a fan of ska music to know that. You got three letters and it's talking about anything upbeat or Jamaican inspired roots. Maybe they go into actual bands and stuff like, the band Madness, right? From the early 80s, Our House, and so on. It's going to be ska, right? Anything else, it could be emo or whatever. But, ska, yeah, pretty clever. You kind of always know where it's going to be. Director Winders, I think that's Whim. I don't know. Gathers together, maybe amasses. Tilling tool, maybe a hoe. Unit of explosive force, maybe a kiloton. Passes and acts. Nice. Popular video game franchise since '97 for short. I'm assuming this is Grand Theft Auto. Again, never played it. I'm just not a video game player, but I can appreciate them. I mean, I probably would play. I mean, I've got an Xbox and a PS4. I guess I have a PS4. I'm not very good at coordinating the stuff I've got to do, so I just don't really mess with it much. Same as above same as above marks, maybe dittos. Silo fill, I'm thinking grain. And Hava Nagila Hava, very nice. 1960s, 70s world leader portrayed and filmed by Helen Mirren, and I guess that's Golda Meir. Conscientious of one's community, and I guess this would be civic-minded. It's what came to my mind first, but then I realized I had accidentally fat-fingered an H in Mayor. Maybe OMG. White site in an expanse of blue, perhaps a flow. Soft rock could be talc or bubblegum. Texas city that inspired Friday Night Lights, and again, used to always go through Odessa on our way back to El Paso from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, which is where my wife and I both hail from. They might be used to change the tone of a film, and I guess this may be a lens filter. And so we've got absolute musts. Perhaps these are needs. Makes sense by definition. Certain Tuscan. I can really only think maybe Paisan. Let's check that. Comic strip segment panel. Impossible. Impossible. So maybe it can't be. More up to the task. Oh my gosh, abler. I just want to know, did anybody ever use that term? Does anybody say, oh yeah, he's abler? More so than, more abler, more able. I mean, abler? When's the last time you used it? I just want to know. Maybe I got to get my head around it and maybe quit complaining about the word. But changed course abruptly, maybe veered. Put away, could be to store. And, it's a funny one because, you wouldn't really know if it was store or stow, Ball rests on an insole and Puerto Rico on some mats. Insets, very nice. Okay, so we've got to figure out what this wave of a hand, is it Sera, que sera, whatever it will be. Doppler effect phenomenon. And I love the Doppler effect here in Europe because I like the sirens here. They're interesting, not that woo, woo, woo thing that you get in the States, in the lower 48 United States, but it's got that neener, and it kind of has a really cool effect, right? So I don't really remember how I would put this. Perhaps it's a frequency. I don't know. Let's see. Taradiddle. Well, it's either going to be a lie or a fib, and I think frequency is what's coming into my head up here, so a little bit of that confirmation bias going on. But I feel like I can at least put frequency, and I got to figure out what this is. MLB execs, probably GMs, general managers, and so I guess we got a frequency shift. It's kind of where my mind was going. Become lighter, maybe to fade. Q&A format, as with me and anyone out there. Ask me anything. Online reference with credits. I'm assuming IMDb, which is such a handy website, isn't it? Milk source could be an udder. Spirit filled with the question mark. Ooh, maybe we're haunted. Nice. Oh, okay. Psychological, blah, blah, blah. Memories recalled when the magic person. So maybe it's a mood concurrence, which is pretty cool. I'm liking it. Returned call. Perhaps an echo. Echo's been getting in here an awful lot lately. Let's see, Puente of Latin jazz, and I think that's Tito, inventor of the printing press. Perhaps we're talking about Gutenberg. Gentle reminders, maybe nudges. Order from on high, perhaps an edict. Backup storage service for Apple devices. And I think we're talking about iCloud, something that I certainly couldn't live without. Boasting words, perhaps I rule. A word from a pirate. Terrorist confirmation. I am. Okay, very nice. So a word with a wave of a hand. I don't know yet. Totally fascinated. Nest egg option. Brief. IRA. Overs and unders could be bets. Could be odds too, but I think bets is what's fitting in with my fib here. Sign of authenticity, perhaps is a seal. Some yoga poses are named for them. Where a hem might be on display. Is this an S? Sign of a packed house. Standing room only, yes. I think maybe a hem might be on display on stage. So I guess we're talking about sages in yoga, okay? Experience serenity. I guess we're looking for a be at ease. Holds a grudge against, perhaps resents. And I guess totally fascinated could be arrested. And I don't know. I don't really feel it. Let's see. How do we do, Bob? Did I miss something somewhere? Did I leave something out? I'm not. Oh, I sure did. Okay, now, internet era, a fracas could be an adieu. How'd we do, Bob? This is not a bad grid, but the instructions at the beginning of the puzzle said that we should look at the shaded spaces. So, pay bump. All right, got a pay bump out of it. Nice. This was one of those Sundays where, like I said, it just wasn't a rollover. It made you think on an awful lot of this stuff. I really thought that frequency shift and mood congruence was nice, right? You know, and there was a lot of cleverness going on in switched parties, you know, in the Alaska Peninsula. Just kind of just thrown around and in here kind of in a random order, but they were able to make the shading work to fill out, you know, pay raise, which seems like it could have just been in any order. Like I probably could have made pay raise work with, you know, Peninsula and then other things. So it didn't really seem at first or on, you know, it didn't really seem like it was planned out. But if we do look at this, if we look at the circled letters, right? And so, I mean, that's going to take me, I mean, to take a look at that and see. So we have K-A-E-L, maybe it's K-O, O-U-G-H, A-S-H, T-E-N-E-R. So tender, cash, dough, kale as in cabbage, right? Green, and then we've got coin, and we've got cheddar. So we've got all of these different slang terms for money in there. So, okay, clever, well put. I enjoyed it, and now we know that there was at least some rhyme or reason to the order. Let's go ahead and say goodbye to this thing for now. And before we bring down our en signe d'adieu, I just want to say I have been asked by a number of people. These puzzles, they go up on YouTube, of course, but they go up on TikTok and Instagram as well. And just a different format. I had to make them vertical, and you know. But the idea, I get an awful lot of questions, and one question that I got yesterday, that's an echo, if you will, of other questions I've had in the past, which is, you really put a lot of emphasis on being nice to the person behind you in line. Why is that? Well, real quick, it boils down to when I was an extremely poor college student. I just didn't have any money. I don't come from a wealthy family. It wasn't like I was just going to school, to do whatever, to kill time. I was going to school to learn and to get a degree. And this was back during undergraduate, but I didn't have a lot of money. And one time I went through a drive-through, and I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it's maybe Taco Bell or McDonald's. I don't know. But it was some place where they had a value menu. And I had about $3 and some change on me. And I remember getting what I could afford on the value menu, not what I actually wanted, because I was hungry. And I was like 19 years old. And the lady on the speaker box said, well, the gentleman ahead of you left his change, for the next customer in line. So that's about $10. And I was just ecstatic. So I tripled my order, right? So instead of, 2 tacos, I probably got 6 or something like that and whatever, or burgers or whatever it was that I was wanting to eat back then. But it really left a stamp on me. And so metaphorically, I just think with all of the ugliness in the world around us, right? It seems like the United States is divided. The rest of the world is at war in one way or another. It's just so much bad going on. But wouldn't it be nice if everybody just left their metaphorical change with the till agent for the next person in line? Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing, right? And you take that along with maybe learning how to say hello, goodbye, thank you, or whatever in the original language tongue of the person that you frequent, like say their convenience store, or you go into the donut shop or whatever, the person who always, your barista that always makes you coffee. So that's kind of the idea, just being generally nice and giving somebody a positive thing to look forward to. So with that said, I'm not being preachy. It's just an idea, right? So let's go ahead and bring down our ancien tattoo. And until we see you tomorrow for the Monday Mini, the Monday Big Grid, and the Monday Guardian Quick Crossword, ich wünsche Ihnen ein schönes Wochenende. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss, Servus, Grüß Gott, Ciao, Cin-Cin. And we will see you tomorrow. And until then, be good to yourselves, be great to your neighbors, and be especially phenomenal to the person behind you in line. Take care now. We'll see you tomorrow. Be safe.